Yeah, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, September 14th, 2017. It is 8:05 a.m. Pacific time. And yes, I am off today, so don't worry if you feel I'm kind of squeezing for time before work. I am off today. The only time I would have to worry about that is something like tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, I'm off today, so I'm happy about that. But as you see the title here, we are going to talk a little bit about the MLP movie, season 8, the whole Rarity and Spike situation, Starlight Glimmer, and more. So let's start with the movie. I gave my initial thoughts mostly on the second trailer, and that's what this is basically focused on, the second trailer. And I have to say, like I said in that video that I did during my lunch break yesterday, I have to say that they did a decent job in really focusing in on a lot of aspects of the film, from the action, the comedy, the music, the drama, the moments, the development that is needed for the characters. They really, to me, they really drove that home in this last trailer. True, it wasn't as long as the first one. The first trailer was to initially set things up, to give you an idea of what you're in store for when this movie comes around. This one gave us more exposition, like why, a character like Tempest is doing the things she's doing. As a matter of fact, in the first 10 to 7 seconds, she says that all the magic is being wasted on worthless, uh, flute, whatever the word she uses, fruitless parties, when there could be so much more done with it. And just to let you guys know, it does say it in the title here. There are spoilers possibly within here, so just giving you guys a heads up on that. But she does basically say that the magic is not being used wisely, and that it could be used for so much more. Um, and as she's saying this, we see her walking by basically a frozen Celestia. So we kind of get, and what I mean by frozen Celestia or petrified Celestia, basically what we get here is the initial idea that one of the powers that they have, we don't know if it's the orb, we don't know if it's from the Storm King's staff, we don't know if it's after he drains them of the magic, we don't know. I'm assuming it's before he drains them of the magic. I'm just saying. Um, but basically, we see her turned into a glass statue or something like that, or marble, whatever kind of like statue, where you could see where Tempest sees a reflection in it. Now we all know, again, spoilers contained. We all know that pretty much if we have an idea of how the movie's going to go, unless Hasbro decides to throw some surprises out on us that we wouldn't expect. We all know that Celestia, Luna, and Cadence, if both of them as well are in the same kind of state, are not going to remain that way forever. They're not going to remain that way for the rest of the franchise or the series or whatever. That instead they're going to be restored. We know that. We just don't know how, in a sense. I mean, some of us that got the junior novel or the Lex Junior novel or whatever pretty much have an idea that yeah, they're probably going to get restored, but we don't. But I don't want to say how it happens because like I said, I skimmed through the junior novel just to see how they interpretate certain parts and all that. And let's just say I saw what the ending is, and that's all I'm going to say. Saw the ending is I saw how things, you know, get fixed and all that, or read how things get fixed, I should say. I read how things get fixed and all that, but I'm not going to say any more than that. I'm not going to say any more because I'm pretty sure anybody watching or listening right now kind of has an idea that, you know, kind of has an idea of how it's going to occur, how things are going to happen in the film. They have an idea of how certain things are going to occur. You know, like how certain moments are going to happen, certain situations, stuff like that. You know, and again, like I said, I don't want to give too much away in case people don't want to be spoiled or anything. So I'm just going to say I kind of read what happens, and it kind of gives you an idea of of what occurs in the film. So yeah, but like I said, as far as the movie goes, like I said, as far as the movie goes, I mean, as far as the second trailer goes, like I said for the movie, it did its job. Like I said yesterday, it did its job. It did what it had to spotlight the newer characters as well as the main six. Um, I like how when they would show who's voicing certain characters, they would let you hear a line or two from them. Like with Capper, they gave him two lines. They gave him, "Are you all ready for this?" and "You ponies are crazy." You know, so yeah, they gave him those lines. They gave Christine Chenoweth's character the line of "She wants to help." We heard the "To Be Awesome" song, sort of a pop version mixed in with the movie version, or vice versa. Basically, it's both, I guess. I don't know. Um, but yeah, we kind of got that. We got excuse me. We kind of got we kind of got the what I'm trying to say. See, hold on, I'm kind of working on something as we're doing this. Well, hold on, I'm just checking something. Um, oh, I know what to do. Hold on, folks. But anyway, sorry for this. But anyway, what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that they do a good job here. There's no doubt that they do a good job, and I really appreciate what they're doing, what they did here, because like I said, it gives um, emphasis on it gives emphasis, like I said, on the newer characters. It lets you hear what they have to say and stuff, and like I said, it lets you hear what they have to say, and Like I said, it lets you see what. Basically, what I'm saying is the trailer, in my opinion, did its job in a sense that, like I said, anytime they showed who the voice of the new characters were, they gave them a line, and I really appreciated that. And I like how, like I said, they emphasized the comedy, the drama, the action. You name it, the music. I like that. I really like how they kind of focused in on that a little bit more. I like how Rarity was definitely put into some comedic roles. You could tell she's gonna, in a sense, in a sense, what I look at with Rarity is she is her drama queen moments, how she over dramatizes or over dramatizes what I'm trying to say, certain events or moments. Um, I really think if she's got that going with her, that sarcasm, that over dramatization on things, that she's going to be one of the characters out of the main six that's going to steal the show. I really believe that's what's going to happen. I believe she's going to be one of the main six that steal the show in this movie. I really do. Um, like I said, I really think she's going to be one of them that steals the show in this film. I really do. I really think she's going to be one of the characters. I think along with Pinky, she's going to be one of the characters that steals the show. And I don't know about the other characters. I think here's what I think is going to happen. The focus you got is going to be, as far as the main six go, Rarity is going to get focus. Rainbow Dash is going to get focus because of her interaction with the pirates. Pinky is going to play an important role, and of course, Twilight's going to have some focus as well. That's what I feel is going to happen. I mean, I feel that they're going to get a lot of focus and moments in the film. I'm not saying that Fluttershy and Applejack won't, because I got a feeling sometimes when they don't show certain characters in a trailer saying too much, and but I think Applejack did say a few lines or so, a line or so in the trailer, maybe at the beginning or something. But when they don't show much, it usually means they're saving the best of that character for the movie. They don't want to spoil what you're going to get with that character when it comes to the movie. So, when it comes to like Fluttershy, you take a look at her pirate toy and how she has that kind of like look with it. It kind of tells you she might steal the show. She might get a little too into being the pirate kind of deal. So she might steal the show a little bit, in my opinion. So, yeah, I feel she might steal the show, and I think that's why we're not seeing much out of her or Applejack right now. Is because I think whatever moments they have in the film, they're going to be saved for the film. Like there's going to be moments with them that's going to be best for last. That you're going to save the best for last. Like for example, you think that Rainbow Dash, Pinky and Rarity and Twilight might be the ones that'll steal the show, and they might. It's, right, with their performances, development, and characterization, humor, comedy, whatever. But I think when it comes to Fluttershy and Applejack, I think they're going to save whatever moments they have, whatever lines they have. They're going to save it for the film, and I think that's why you don't see much of that in the trailer. But overall, I like what they did here, and I do apologize for a little bit of the rambling, if you will. I was trying to link this up to other places so others could watch. But like I said, um, but like I said, I like what I like what they did here. I mean, the animation definitely you can tell is a little bit more polished as far as the Toon Boom 2D animation. You could tell it's a lot more polished. You could tell that the CGI that they use in here is a lot more rendered and finalized. So you could tell that it's basically completed. It is that what you're seeing here is that what you see here is mostly a completed project, mostly a completed film that's being given this trailer. Uh, Overall, I really appreciate what they did here, and I cannot wait to see how what the honestly, in a sense, I know some people might say that even watching this, they're kind of not as hyped as they used to be, and that's understandable because you're not getting really too much out of it, and there's a lot of other stuff going around. You got football back, a month away from the MLB playoffs. This is the initial month where a lot of um, upcoming um, novels and video games, that are coming out to stores, and people are looking forward to them, more focused on them. So it's understandable that sometimes your focus could be split in many different directions. One person said that they were more focused right now, or the focus mostly was on the Powerpuff Girls special that comes out later this month, um, or later this week. So it's like they're focused on that, and your attention span goes in different directions when it comes to this. And again, like I said, that's understandable. That's understandable in many ways. Like I said, it's understandable in many ways. So when when I hear that some people are not as hyped anymore, I understand that, but I know they are hyped. Some have even said that maybe after these initial moments happen, that perhaps they'll be more focused and more ready for this movie. Um, some of the comments I read at some of the various forums, and even some of the comments on YouTube, is pretty much, some of them, I will say this. When this trailer came out, you had a lot of very negative, trollish comments being put onto the trailer, put being commented on, with this trailer. And that's to be expected because no, not a lot of people are going to understand why adult fans like this franchise, why they like this show, and that's fine. You don't understand. That's fine. I get it. I'm sure everybody in the established Riff Cafe, Brony community, Brony Pegasus community can understand that you can understand that you know you don't know why people like it, why adults like it, and that's fine. I have my family that teases me still every now and then about liking MLP FIM. A lot of my family still tease me about it. We went to Discovery Kingdom and they pointed out the Space Pop promo poster when we were getting ready to go on one of those rides. I don't know what ride it was. It was basically where you sit down and it kind of rolls you around, kind of like spins you around and all that, along with other people. Um, and what's funny about that, just to let you know, is I was sitting down in the same seat with my mom when we went on that ride, where it kind of like pulls you, kind of goes back and forth, kind of like that a little bit. And what happened is our hat fell off. She tried to keep her hat on, but it flew off, and it stayed in the middle of the ride. Basically, stayed on the ground, stayed still, right on the ground during the middle of the ride and everything. So, but yeah, that's sort of a funny moment there. That I don't. I think that's a moment we're not going to forget. But what I'm saying is, uh, what I'm trying to say is, there was this poster that was as we were waiting in line that had the space pop thing, and this is at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Valeria. Valeria, bleh, easy for me to say. Uh, in in Vallejo, California. And like I said, they had this little poster up, and they kind of teased me a bit about that. I mean, they know, essentially they do, but it's like, they if they see something that might resemble it or might, resemble it or kind of be similar to it, they'll tease me about it because in a sense they know about it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they know about the show, they know about the franchise, but they don't know as much because if they're gonna mistake a space pop kind of poster with characters for that, or at least reference it to that, you know, of course they're gonna tease me about it, and sometimes I can understand why families or friends may tease us about it. Maybe it's a subtle way of saying, hey, you might want to kind of get away from this now because you got to remember this is initially for little kids, little girls. Kind of get away from it. It doesn't look good for you. And I think in a way when they give you those subtle hints and everything, it's they're not trying to be disrespectful or anything. They're just trying to say, yeah, this. When this is all said and done, you got to ask yourself what are you gonna do next. So, but what was it? Oh yeah, but yeah, my family still teases me about it, and that's what I saw here sometimes in some of the comments and some of the channels that uploaded the trailer. Some people were teasing, they were trolling, they were being rude and all that because initially they don't understand. I mean, sometimes they could be adolescent teenage boys, maybe girls that are just starting high school, just starting middle school, junior high, whatever. You know, that don't have a more, and I'm not trying to be mean about this when I say it, but don't have a very mature grasp on the situation. Okay, they don't have a mature grasp on why people like this. I mean, it's like I've said before, and I'll say it again. There's so much other stuff on television, through on-air broadcast, cable, streaming, that when you look at a lot of that stuff may be good, but it may be good and everything, but it's not for everybody. It's not for all ages. It's not for all families. Think Game of Thrones, as good as it is for all families? No, it's not. It's not for all families. You know, you think, what else is there? You think Riverdale is for all families? No, it's not. The point is, there are shows out there that are good, and I think Riverdale is good. My older sister thinks Game of Thrones is good, but they're not for everybody. Not everybody of every age is going to get them. You know, so for me, for me and everybody else, for me and all these adult bronies and Pegasisters that are parents, uncles, aunts, grandparents, if you will, cousins, you name it, that when we come out and we say we like MLP FIM, we say it because we look at it as probably one of the only shows, cable television, streaming, you name it, that everybody from young to old can sit down and enjoy because they got stories, morals, they got stories, characters, morals, easy for me to say, morals, lessons, if you will, for everybody to uh, enjoy and use probably in their daily lives, maybe, and just overall have a good time watching. And I think and I think that's the thing about a lot of these people that come out and they troll us with these comments, especially after this trailer, because they don't understand that. They don't see that. To them, it's like, oh, it's not hip and cool to watch MLP, but it's hip and cool to watch Game of Thrones because that's action and adventure and blood and guts. And I get that. I get that. A lot of people like that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But the point is, the reason you got this brony Pegasista community out there that likes MLP, why you got this brony Pegasista community of parents of adults, from uh, various generals of parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, guardians. You know, this is why, you have them all happy and hyped for this series and all happy and hyped for this film. Because in a way, it's something that they know not only could kids enjoy, but everybody, everybody from young to old can enjoy because it's got something for everyone. I mean, you take a look at this trailer, this second trailer, second to final trailer for the movie, and you look at the moments with Rarity, you get a kick out of them. Anybody would get a kick and a laugh out of them because because of the way, you're emphasizing her drama queen over dramatization of moments and stuff like that. I mean, at the end when she's like, "The bad guys have won. I'm so sorry." You know, when she does that, you get a kick out of it. You get a laugh out of it. When she says she hates epic adventures, you kind of get a laugh out of that. The point is, this movie's going to have something for everybody. This movie's going to have something for everybody. And now, a lot of people may not like possibly how it ends, what direction certain characters, old and new, mostly new, will go in because of this movie. And pretty much, I think a lot of people can predict this without even reading a junior novel, without looking or without reading any other kind of material. They can pretty much have an idea of what's going to happen. But the point is, overall, when I look at this trailer, getting back to it, I think it did what it had to do for one last moment to really get you sold on the fact that this is more than just a movie selling a toy franchise, selling toys, or selling you a series. This is more than just a movie that's a bridging gap between season 7 and 8. That this, if you're new to the franchise, if you've heard about it through friends, family, colleagues, even your own kids, but you've never taken the time to watch it, this, in a sense, did its job by presenting itself as not just, like I say, as a movie that's based on a television show, based on a toy franchise, of being a bridging gap between seasons of that show, but it also, in my opinion, presented itself as being looked at from a first-time viewer perspective, as as what could be a decent, if not good, original animated feature film that they can just go out and enjoy and not really know nothing about it. It's a good introductory to this franchise for those that may be new to it, even this year. So it serves its purpose in that way, in two ways. It serves its purpose as everybody know, for the longtime fans that know what it's based on, that know that it's a bridging gap between seasons, and that yes, it's initially to sell you on the show and on the toys, but for the newer fans, for the casual moviegoers and all that, I think it did a good job by selling itself as an original animated feature film that you don't have to know much about the franchise, that you don't have to know much about the characters, but that you can actually go and that you can actually go to a cinema, sit down with your bowl of popcorn and your soda, and enjoy. So, so I give them credit. So I give Toon Boom, Lion Gates, AllSpark Pictures, Hasbro, which is AllSpark anyway, but Toon Boom, DHX Media, I give them all credit for doing that, for doing what they had to do with this trailer and really getting us sold. Either you're a casual viewer, either you're a casual moviegoer, or you know what the movie is about and you're hyped for it. I give them a lot of credit for really doing their job and with the presentation of this trailer and getting people's interest in the movie, whether they're already hyped for it or it might be to them just a trailer for an original animated film. I give them a lot of credit for doing the job that was needed to really get people invested to go and see this movie. So, and yes, I do initially plan to see it. The question is when and where. That's that's still the question. I have an idea of when and where. I just got to plan it out more carefully. In fact, I think what I'm going to have to do, if I can work this out, is I'm going to have to request the 6th or the 7th off, so I can the 6th or the 7th or somewhere between that week or the week after to go and see it. Anyway, that's all I have to say right now. Again, for the trailer. Again, I do apologize for the little rambling here and there. I was trying to link it up at certain other places, trying to link up this live feed to certain other places. I do thank you guys for tuning in live to this discussion. Now let's move on to season 8. At HasCon, which was the first ever HasCon this year, at the panel for MLP, they showed not just clips from upcoming episodes for the rest of this season, kind of giving us a little trailer for what's coming up for the rest of this season, but they also decided to throw in the bonus, and they do this all the time. Was it San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, you name it, BronyCon, BabsCon, you name it. They seem to always throw something like this in there. And what they threw, work in progress, WMP animatronic or animatronic visual for season 8 in the season 8 premiere. And from what we saw in the visual, there's this character that comes, what looks like, into Twilight's school or castle. Because one of the things that's being sold for season 8, toy-wise, is this new and promotional from a promo picture kind of perspective. Is this new building that they have, and from what I've heard, it's supposed to represent a school. So I'm thinking Twilight's opening a school. So I'm thinking, along with everybody else, that Twilight's opening the school, and that she and the main 6 and Spike, and Starlight, are going to serve as teachers in that school for young fillies, colts. So that might be interesting in a sense. I hope that doesn't mean, the end of Celestia. I don't think so, because she has a toy coming out. Speaking of Celestia, she did have a toy premiere, a limited supply of these toys at HasCon, because it's not officially supposed to come out to next year. So hopefully this doesn't mean the end of Celestia. I don't think it does. So I think Celestia, like I said, is going to be okay. And all that. They wouldn't be promoting toys and stuff with her if, that was it for her or something like that. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, anyway, I think this is like the next step in Twilight's growth as a character, because they're giving her a school. It looks like Ponyville, I believe, and it's supposed to be, I guess, similar to what Celestia had with her as a young filly. And that's basically teaching the younger generation about the lessons that she and her friends learned from magic, laughter, loyalty, kindness, generosity, honesty, redemption, I guess, when it comes to Starlight or something. I don't know what Spike's role would be. I think Spike, if he teaches a class anything, it's more like being a friend or something. I don't know what Spike's role is going to be, but I don't think anybody does, but hopefully he is a good one. But anyway, they have this new building that's selling on, so I'm guessing that's going to be the new base, home base, if you will, or something like that. But yeah, it's supposed to be a school, and some people are assuming the main 6, along with Starlight, Spike, and maybe a few other characters, are going to be like teachers or mentors there for the younger generation. So we'll just have to wait and see. But from what this animatronic, getting back to what I was saying, what this animatronic showed us was a character that some people called Shutterbug, coming in and just taking out of nowhere pictures, saying that they were taking these pictures for the Cantalot of Ponyville or Equestria Historical Society or something like that. And they're just going around taking all these pictures of all the main 6 with the exception of Starlight, until a certain Pinky, if you will, suggests that she take one of Starlight, and Shutterbug, I guess that's what they're calling her, reluctantly does. So you have her basically taking pictures of Twilight, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and even reluctantly Dash. And I think she may have taken one of Spike or something like that. And you wonder, why would she go and do this and then initially leave? And we find out that Shutterbug is actually Crystallis in disguise. Yes, Crystallis is coming back in the season 8 premiere. I think it's the season 8 premiere. I don't know if they specifically said. And at the same time she was taking these pictures of Shutterbug, she also kind of took snippets of each of their manes. In other words, she took a piece of their hairs from each of their manes to go along with the photos. And that's all we were left on. The fact that she has the hairs of the main 6. I don't know if she has a hair of Starlight with her. She has hairs of the main 6 along with the photos. And a lot of people are only guessing exactly what she has planned. A lot of people are thinking she's going to make clones of the main 6, changeling like clones or something like that, that will be almost to a T, close to the main 6 from a personality standpoint and all that, but actually be clones to kind of sabotage the main 6's reputation. Let's not forget, at the end of season 6, she said she said nothing will, or something. She said something along the lines that the revenge she has planned for Starlight, that nothing will compare to. She said something along the lines that what she has planned revenge-wise for Starlight will be nothing compared to what any kind of friendship or any kind of whatever they can offer. It'll be like you won't even know. It's like basically Crystallis's plan. I was just checking something there. Crystallis's plans for revenge will be unlike anything Starlight's ever experienced. So, if this is what she has planned, if by using the photos and the hairs of the main 6 to either do voodoo, as some people are saying, or suggesting, that's controlling them through voodoo to make them do some things they wouldn't initially do, or things they wouldn't initially do, or make clones, changeling clones. In other words, they could be changelings in disguise, but when she clones them, they will look and act like the main 6, but with a few differences that will ruin their reputation, make them turn and slowly start to distrust Starlight, or vice versa. So we don't really know what's planned, honestly. There's a lot of people that are guessing. I gave my thoughts on it, and I initially said that. In fact, let me look at it. Hold on for a second. Let me go and look at it for a moment. But I initially said that I believe, and this is just my opinion on it, I believe that if they don't, what I initially said was, if they don't hotshot this in the first couple of episodes, in the first 2-3 episodes, and they push it for a season long arc, to where every 3 to 6 episodes you focus an episode on this arc. Like, you could spend, like, okay, they could start it off in the first couple of episodes, take a break from it, and then about 3 or 6 weeks later, focus back in on it, because they have 26 episodes. So you have 3 to 6 weeks in between, and then you focus on it again. In other words, you build anticipation to the moment that this happens. You build anticipation to the moment that it happens. And let me see. Oh, here it is. Excuse me. I think I have my thoughts here somewhere. I think it's on the second page of the MLP forms that I'm looking at. Let's see here. Come on, come on, come on. Well, it's probably on the third page. But, you know, I feel that if they push this as a season-long arc, I think it'll work better because, you know, it'll get people more invested, more intrigued. Here it is. Here's what I said here. This is what I said. This is what I said. And I even mentioned, I even did a video, audio video, which you can see here on this YouTube channel. But this is what I said. I said that I look at it. This is what I said, and I quote. This is what I said a couple of days ago. I think, yeah, back on basically almost basically this past Sunday. This is what I said, and I quote. I look at it this way. They may go a two-parter route with the season 8 premiere, or this could be set up, for a season-long arc. A season-long arc that spread out properly could have lasting effects going forward. In other words, with this season being 26 episodes long, they can spread this out throughout the season by having every other episode 3 to 6 episodes in between, in other words, 3 to 6 weeks, be significant to the arc. But, you know, that's what I said, that in other words, with this season being 26 episodes long, they can spread this out, that being this this arc, if you will, instead of being a 2-episode premiere, that this could be that if they set this up to be a season-long arc, that they could spread this out properly throughout the season, and it could have lasting effect, and it could have better lasting effects going forward. In other words, this is what I said. In other words, with this season being 26 episodes long, they can spread this out throughout the season by having every other episode, 3 to 6 episodes in between, be significant to the arc. And when they get to the finale of the season, that's where the payoff could really benefit from, should they, the writing staff, execute this arc right and not hotshot it in the premiere. In other words, if they execute this properly and not decide, okay, we're going to end it in the first 2 episodes, of the season, I think they'll have money on their hands here. I also said, as to who could be involved with Queen Chrysalis, because there's got to be more to this than her just taking pictures and all that and getting the hairs. I put money on Turek as being the main baddie. Because if you're using one of the because if one of your promo pictures for season 8 is Tartarus, if you're showing that, then you know Turek's got to probably be involved. But like I said, this is what I said, as to who could be involved with Queen Chrysalis, I put money on Turek as being the main baddie. In fact, if Bronies and Pegasisters are fearful that Queen Chrysalis will be reformed finally, then if Turek is part of this in some way, then there's your answer. You want a good example? Check out what happened to Discord in the season 4 finale when he thought he could trust Turek. As far as Starlight goes, if she becomes the main hero again, and this was my opinion, expect her to get the Alicorn treatment at the end or at the beginning, at the end of the season or at the beginning of season 9, which I still believe there will be one, because I still believe they're going to go a decade's worth of seasons, which I still believe there will be one, a la the same way Twilight did at the beginning of season 4. In other words, what I'm saying is, if they make Starlight the hero again, expect Starlight to get the same Alicorn treatment that Twilight did at the end of season 8 or at the beginning of season 4. Expect that. Whether people don't want to see it happen or not, expect it probably to happen. Now, I also said this, and this kind of bothers some people, but I think this is a direction that they haven't gone in, but I feel, I don't know why, that they're discussing and they're talking about doing, because this, magical wise, this is the last direction that they need, this is the last thing they need to do with this series, because it would make sense, especially if they got big threats coming in here and there. This would be the probably this is probably the one thing they haven't touched upon, and I don't know why. I believe, and I don't know why. I just have this gut feeling that the writing staff has been discussing this, and this is what I said. I also expect, and I don't know why I have this feeling, but I expect a possible hint at fusion coming into play for the main six and Starlight in this season, or at least being discussed among the main six: Starlight, Spike, Celestia, Luna, and Cadence, for possibly and to happen in season 9, which again I still believe is going to happen because I believe we're going to get a 10 season, a 10 year or 10 season long um, series. But yeah, I feel that one of the last elements of magic that they have not touched upon on yet is fusion. And like I said, if you got Chrysalis doing something like what she's doing in this animatronic for season 8, and if you got Tartarus as one of your promo pictures for it, and that's hinting at the fact that a villain like Turak could be involved, then I would suspect that fusion is probably the last magical aspect that they're going to be touching upon on, because as we have seen with fame and misfortune, as we have seen with fame and misfortune, um, and slice of life. If those episodes, along with a few others in between, if those episodes, mainly those episodes, like I said, along with a few others in between, don't show that the writing staff listen to the fans, the Bronies, the Pegasisters, the overall fan base and community. If that doesn't show you that they listen and pay attention to the fan base, I don't know what does. So you can't. Honestly, in my opinion, you can't tell me that they don't know about fans drawing up or writing about the characters doing a fusion. You can't tell me they don't pay attention to that. And if you can't tell me that, you can't tell me that with a straight face, because obviously they do pay attention to that as well. And I believe that that's the last magical aspect that I feel they need to. I feel they're going to be exploring as far as this series goes, because honestly, what other direction do you got? You got them becoming sea ponies in the movie, possibly as well as in season 8. What other directions do you have for them to go? And I think a fusion is probably the best direction for them to go, because let's say whatever season ends, whatever series, whatever season the season. What I'm trying to say is, let's say for example, whatever season the series ends on, you can't tell me that they're not going to want to end it in some big climactic way. If they got to do a climactic battle and it's against an enemy that's more powerful than they can imagine, more powerful than even Celestia, Luna, Cadence, and even Twilight can take on individually, and it takes a certain magical property for this being to be defeated, you can't tell me for one moment that they're not considering doing a fusion, even if it's a one-time deal. And then, like I said, you could have the characters either through season 8, maybe save it for a future season, discussing that possibility for a spell to be executed when necessary. You can't tell me that they're not planning on doing that. You can't tell me they're not planning on going in that direction, if you will. You can't tell me they're not planning on possibly thinking about it. But again, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I believe a fusion has got to occur, because if they're going to dedicate a season, because if they're going to go a lot further with this show, like I said, one of the last magical elements is got to be fusion. That's what it's got to be. You got to go the fusion route, and hopefully they may do it, because I think in a sense, that would be a big seller, especially if you want to go toy wise. That would be a big seller, So, but we'll wait and see what they do. Wait and see what they do. They've always found ways to bring in different elements of magic from past generations, from different, like I said, different and past generations. They've been able to reference certain things from other properties. So I wouldn't put it past them to try to think about doing a fusion deal down the line. But again, I'm not Jason Teresen. I'm not M.A. Larson. I'm not Megan McCarthy or the lady writers, as they call themselves on Twitter. I'm just me. I'm just among the fan base that thinks, that believes, has this feeling that this may be an option, maybe something that's brought up in the series down the line. But yeah, season 8 looks like it's going to shape up to be a good season. I just hope they don't hotshot this, in the first 2 episodes. I really don't hope. I really don't hope they hotshot this, because I think if they build this as a season-long deal, the story elements and the payoff will be a lot better. The payoff in the end will be a lot better and a lot more gratifying for the fan base and overall viewership, for the overall viewership as far as the show goes. But yeah, that's all I could say. And one other thing I want to say: do they specifically say this is going to be the premiere? Is this animatronics from the premiere, or is it possibly the finale of season 8? We don't know yet. We don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I think initially, like I said, season 8 is going to shape up to be a good season. I really do. All right, next up, Rarity and Spike. I was briefly touching upon this yesterday before my bus came to pick me up. Well, before my bus came in, so I can go back home. So I can go. What I'm saying is, I was initially doing a live stream on this yesterday, talking about the whole Spike Rarity deal. Before my bus came for me to head back home from work, and I talked about what I saw in the first 10 to 30 seconds in the trailer, mostly 7 seconds, as some fans put it, and about what happened with Celestia and possibly the other ponies and princesses. And I looked at that, and I thought to myself, I've always had this feeling. I've always had this feeling. I still have this feeling that there's going to be a moment in the film. I don't know why, but there's going to be a moment in the film where Spike's going to take the blunt of a shot or something to save Rarity. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that he's going to take the shot or something. He's going to take the hit. And this is going to upset Rarity to the point that she's just going to lash out and take out whoever did this to her. Or whoever did this to Spike. I should say, not her, but to Spike. And I just feel that that would be the writer's way, Jason Teresen, Megan McCarthy's way of acknowledging, yeah, we know still about the whole Spike Rarity deal, and here's a moment for you to enjoy. Even though Megan, as some people put it, shot the whole Sparity thing down, it doesn't mean someone like Jason Teresen wouldn't decide to because I think he's the main writer of the film. Jason is. So I wouldn't say that he wouldn't. So I'm not. So what I'm saying is I believe that even though Megan would shoot it down, she still acknowledges it. And if she's contributing to the film, she might be okay with a moment like this happening, because at least it's acknowledging to me, because to me, in my opinion, it's acknowledging to the fan base, to the bronies, the Pegasisters, to the overall fan base and communities, as well as the Rarity Spike, Sparity shippers, if you will. It's acknowledging to them that, yeah, we hear you. We know you still support this pairing. So here, we're going to give you this moment to probably hint at the fact that now there's more to the relationship than just friendship. So I have a feeling that that's probably going to happen in the film. Not saying it will, but I have this feeling. And when I have a certain feeling, sometimes it usually becomes a reality. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying I'm wrong. I just have this feeling. And most times when people have feelings about things, it happens. It happens, and sometimes it happens, and sometimes it happens in ways that even though you knew it was going to happen, it doesn't specifically happen a certain way, or in that way that you thought it would, but it still happens. But what I'm getting at is when I saw the first 7 seconds of the trailer, along with everybody else, first 10 to 30 seconds, and I saw what happens to Celestia and probably the other princesses and ponies. To me, I believe what's like I said, to me, I believe what's going to happen is either the Storm King or Trooper is going to try to do the same thing to Rarity. Spike's going to get in front of it, take the blunt of it, and he's either going to turn semi into a glass statue or fully into a glass statue. This is going to tick Rarity off, and she's going to go right after whoever did it to him. So, to me, I think that would be like the writer's way of acknowledging uh, the supporters for this pairing and throwing us a major bone to kind of indicate that yeah, there may be more to the relationship than just friendship, than just friendship. And again, I don't know why, but I just feel that something like that's gonna happen. I don't know why. Um, as far as the whole Capper Rarity thing goes, there's some fans. One fan on the MLP forums basically said that Capper is going to become Rarity's love interest. And I asked this question all over. I said, "Did anybody else hear about this?" And the people I've talked to have said that there is no real way that they can validate it. There's no real validation to it. And some have even said it sounds like somebody that just wants to ship Capper and Rarity, and that's it. Now, look, I'm not denying that they're not doing promo. That when they have some of the promo artwork out there, that you don't see Rarity with Capper, but you also see Pinky and Twilight, or Pinky with Skystar, or Twilight with Skystar. You see Pinky with Luna, or whatever. You see Rainbow Dash with that captain, that pirate captain. So you can't tell. So you're telling me that just because you see promo artwork of Rarity with Capper, that initially says, "Oh, they're going to be an item." No, it doesn't. And there's no indication about that. The trailer didn't hint at it. Nothing has hinted at it yet. Unless Megan and Jason come out and say that yes, Capper is going to be Rarity's love interest now, then fine. But and I just got a notification here from Fire Puppy on one of the forums. But anyway, the MLP forums. One of the members there is called Fire Puppy. Uh, but anyway, what I'm saying is that unless they come out and say that's going to happen, that there's validation to that, there is truth to it. We don't know. Just because you see promo art with Rarity and Capper doesn't mean anything. What it says in the official guidebook, from what people have posted on and on Google, and if you search through Google's image search, or you use Google's image search. Let me get some coffee here. But if you use Google's image search, what people have initially said or posted from the guidebook or the official book or whatever is because of her generosity, she gains a friend for life, a new friend for life. it doesn't mean, oh, that's going to be her love interest. One thing that this fan said, and when they quoted me, one thing that they said when they quoted me was, well, that this is what they said, and if I can get back to it, they said that could mean that they will be dating in a sense, or something like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is what they said. When I mentioned that if you read online via Google and image search there, it says she makes a new friend for life because of generosity. Nothing about a love interest in Capper, just a friend. This is what the person said. They said Rarity blush. Rarity blush? Blushed. They should have put ED. That's okay, it's fine. And is attracted to him as with Blue Blood when they met. If they become quote unquote friends for life, and she was initially attracted to him, then it's easy to assume they will start dating. That's what this person said. That's what that person said in response to what I said. And look, and look, they're entitled to their opinion. That's not a problem. But just because it says, but just because but just because she's attracted to him doesn't mean she's going to start dating him. Do we see him in the animatronic for season 8? Did we see him there when Shutterbug was taking all these pictures? No. Will we see him in season 8? Possibly, but there's no indication about that. There's no real indication that they're going to be more than just friends. Friends for life means you're friends forever. It doesn't mean you're romantically involved. It doesn't mean, you know, you're going to start going out with each other every night or whatever. It just means you're friends for life. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. Go back to part 2 of the pilot, of Friendship is Magic, the pilot, in season 1. What did Rarity do to help Steve Magnet? What did she do to gain a friend for life out of him? She cut off her tail and gave it to him to, to complete his mustache because he had the other half of his mustache cut off by Nightmare Moon. So what did Rarity do? Feeling sorry for him out of generosity, what did she do? She cut her tail off. Thus, her and Steve Magnet, because of that, became friends for life. Does that mean they're dating? Does that mean they're going out? No, they're friends for life. Okay? Look, Rarity's character she is probably the most, how do I put this? She's the most willing, if you will, the most willing of the main 6 to acknowledge and try for romance. She's the most willing out of them. She's the more romantic type, if you will. But just because you see promo arts and all that doesn't mean anything. I know fans want Rarity with someone like Capper. And okay, look, Capper and Rarity may happen. I'm not saying it won't. But we have no evidence yet. You can draw in Capper doing this in a picture, Capper doing this in a picture, and Rarity right there, fine. You could do that. Yeah, maybe that's official artwork, maybe it's not. But again, did we see Capper in the promo for season 8? We know a Sea Pony is going to be in season 8, but did we see Capper as a returning character? No. And if there's any kind of attraction or flirtation between them, it's only for the movie. Okay? It's only for the movie. How many times has this happened in the series or any kind of series? It's like I said initially with the whole Sonic thing in the comics. Back around between 211 between uh, what was it? Issue 207, building up to 207 anyway, but the issues that were building to it from 207 to 211, why was Sally Acorn with Monkey Kong? And why didn't it go beyond that? I'll tell you why. Because that romance, that flirtation, was only meant for the arc. That's it. That's all it was meant for. Yes, it was hinted back at in 222 and all that, but the arc was all it was meant for. Same was, as I used an example then, I'll use an example here. Go back to Saved by the Bell. Zach Morris's character in the summer job in the episodes where they had summer jobs at a beach. He fell in love with the resort or the beach owners or the beach resort's owner daughter. What happened to that? Did they go back to it? No, because it was only for those episodes. It was only for those summer job related episodes. What about the character? What about the mom, the character he fell for in the Hawaiian style movie? Did she come back? Did they continue that? No, they didn't. It was only for the movie. So if there's any kind of attraction, flirtation, whatever being done between Rarity and Capper, it's only being done for the movie. If they're going to do anything, if they're going to do anything, but we have no indication. So again, until we get evidence from Megan McCarthy herself, Jason Teresen, M.A. Larson, whoever, the lady writers, Christine and Joran, until we get evidence from any one of them that this is going to happen, that this is canon and it's official and it's going to happen, all it is just shipping by fans. And I get it. I understand that maybe some fans are doing that because they want to send the message of, look, we know you want to support Rarity with Spike or Spike with Ember or Rarity with this character or that character, but it's never going to happen. So why are you so angry over her being shipped with Capper? Don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I can probably understand that maybe that's why they're doing it. I'm just saying. But again, it's like when you look at this whole thing with Capper, it's like I can understand maybe you want to do that. Here's the pony equivalent, if you will, of a Disney princess, even though she's not in rarity, beauty, and all that, and charm. Here's the equivalent of a rogue character, ruffian character of the Disney type in Capper. I can understand that. I can understand that would be a direction they would go in. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because if it was, let me say this. They would have shown it in the second trailer, some kind of attraction, some kind of moments, but they didn't. All they had Capper say was, "Are you ready for this?" And "You ponies are crazy." That's all they did. The point is, if you want to ship Rarity with Capper, that's your opinion. You're entitled to. You're entitled to do that. That's your opinion. If that's how you feel about who she should be with, fine. But don't come out and assume that it's officially going to happen, because we have no evidence. No real evidence, all right? Besides promo artwork, it doesn't say anything. Okay? I'm just saying. But if you want to feel that way, fine. We get the message. Maybe, some of us that support Spike and Rarity, or at least want to see something come of it down the line. Okay, we get the message. We get the message. But you have to realize why people support Spike and Rarity. Why they still support them to this day. Because even though the show hasn't really touched upon it as much as it should, the point is it's still there. And if they ever decide to, let's say, officially go in that direction, all right, they officially decide to go in that direction, whether people like it or not. It'll be the most well-developed and best built up relationship to become officially official than any kind of other relationship they would try to build towards in the series currently or previously. So I think that if they do it, it's going to be the most organically built, or not organically, but the most naturally built progression of a relationship ever. That's what I feel. Because you can't keep teasing hints in here and there with these two characters and not have some kind of payoff. Okay? That's why when I go back and I say that I feel something's going to happen that's going to in the movie that's going to be the writer's way of saying we acknowledge you Sparity shippers. We acknowledge you Sparity supporters. We acknowledge you Rarity and Spike supporters and all that. Here's a moment for you to kind of hint that the friendship may be more than that because of what Spike just did to save Rarity. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And so, but again, it's my opinion, just like it's an opinion of anybody else that wants to ship Rarity with this character, or Rarity with that character, or Spike with this character, or Spike with that character. It's their opinion. Just saying. I'm just saying. But I will recommend this. If you want a good idea of how this could be done, because I even said that if they were to finally acknowledge this, that the best way for them to do it is to do an episode where not Spike, where Twilight uses a spell to temporarily turn Spike into an adult pony, a stallion, if you will, to turn Spike into an adult stallion, and that this would allow him, whether it's a birthday gift or not, to finally go out on a date with Rarity. You could have Rarity be aware of it, and then when she agrees to do it, and then she sees Spike in the stallion form, go from there. And even if it's just a one-time deal, at least you're acknowledging that, yeah, there is probably more to the friendship than just friendship, especially if Rarity's attracted to the stallion version or the stallion version of Spike. Even though Rarity is smitten and attracted to the stallion version of Spike, it kind of shows that she's also smitten, that she feels the same way about the real version of him. And if you want a good example of that, I did a recommendation. Back about a month ago, so about a month or two ago. I did a recommendation where I said, and let me find it here. I did a recommendation about back in July, on July 14th, I did a recommendation. And the recommendation was for a web comic called A Change of Heart. A Change of Heart, which I can look up more about it, was done by Burning Heart Brony at DeviantArt. It was uploaded there. And from what I've read, and anybody else has read it, it initially shows you how well this could be done. If they wanted to finally make it official, that this is a good example. This is a good example of how it can be done. And I'm hoping the writing staff, if they've seen that webcomic, A Change of Heart, by Burning Heart Brony, that they take that into consideration and at least use it to finally, bring this to the forefront and kind of get it out of the way. I mean, I look at it this way: get it out of the way, at least you acknowledge that there is something there between them. Do something similar to what Change of Heart shows us, or what I've mentioned. Get it out of the way, and at least acknowledge that, okay, there is something between them more than just friendship. and then just go from there. Because then afterwards, you can go back to doing the regular episodes, building to certain arcs and moments with the rest of the season. But at least you use that one episode in the season to say, yes, there is something more, and then you just leave it at that. I think, I believe, honestly, it's something that they should look into. But again, if you want a good idea, check that out at DeviantArt at Burning Heart Brony at DeviantArt. Check that webcomic out, A Change of Heart, and you'll have an idea of how well this could be done. But again, like I said, I just feel that there's going to be a moment in the movie that's going to acknowledge that. I really do. Now, as far as Starlight Glimmer goes, a lot of people are worried about Starlight being, like I mentioned earlier about the season 8 animatronic. A lot of people are worried about Starlight Glimmer becoming the next Alicorn. Well, in my opinion, it's not something that some people may not be worried about. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I really do. I think it's a foregone conclusion that this is going to happen. I really feel that they're going to go in the direction of her being an Alicorn. I mean, why are you keeping her as not just student, but also AKA an apprentice to Twilight if you're not planning something bigger for her? And I think when you focus some of your episodes this season on her, like they did with All Bottled Up, like they did with Royal Problem, like they did with, in a sense, making her sort of our perspective from, not our perspective, but I guess in a way our perspective of, asking why people are arguing over certain things, why the fandom is, goes back and forth on each other and acts like the way they do in Fame and Misfortune. Not just with her and Trixie being the only ponies in the episode with Thorax to change a changeling. But if you're going to focus season 8, a majority of the season, if not the first 2 parts or whatever, on Starlight, and you're going to make her the hero again, then her becoming an Alicorn or whatever next evolutionary step they put her in, or they develop for her, it's not just a worry for some fans. I think, in my opinion, it's a foregone conclusion. I really do. Because what else do you got left for her? Now you might say, well, if she becomes an Alicorn, it makes her a princess, but the princess of what? Redemption? Second chances? What? I can't say. I can't really say if it makes her a princess or it doesn't. Or if it makes her a wizard or whatever. The point is, they got something big initially planned for this character. But again, we don't know what it could be. I don't know what it could be. Nobody knows what it could be. Just looking around. It's kind of weird how the camera goes kind of makes things look a little crooked at times. I don't know why it does that. Maybe it's just the way I got things set up. But anyway, why would you put so much Stark in this character if you don't have something initially planned for her? And again, they got something big in store for her. Whether it's to be a princess, but the princess of what we don't know yet, or the next Star Swirl is anybody's guess. But I wouldn't put her becoming an Alicorn past Hasbro. Sorry for the lag there. I wouldn't put her becoming an Alicorn past Hasbro, past DHX Media, past the writing staff. I wouldn't put it past them whatsoever. So as far as Starlight goes, I believe that she's going to end up in that something is going to happen with her. I just don't know what it's going to be. But if you're going to put so much stock into this, and you're going to dedicate season 8 either to the premiere or building towards a season-long arc finale to her being the hero again, then I think it's only obvious that something big is in store for this character. I really do. Could I be wrong? Absolutely, but I don't think I am. I don't think initially I'm going to be. I don't think anybody else that feels this way is going to be wrong either, because either she becomes an alicorn or she becomes the next Star Swirl. That's up to the creative staff. But why are they putting so much emphasis and focus on her, especially with the fact that you have Chrysalis disguised as this Shutterbug character, not wanting to take a picture of her until Pinkie Pie suggested? I'm just saying. So my initial thought is they got something planned. We just don't know what it is. Could be Alicorn. It could be the next Star Swirl. We don't know. But whatever they have planned, all I could say is hopefully it's got a decent payoff. I really do, because you know, why put so much emphasis on her if you're not going to do a payoff? I mean, I like Starlight. I really do. But if you're going to put a lot of focus on her, you need, and you basically, if you want her to be the extension, saying, "Hey, this is what the show is initially really about," that it's more than just about the main six and Spike and all that, that it's also about these other ponies and these other characters, besides, like I say, the main six and Spike and the CMNC and all that. It's also about these other characters. If you're going to make it that extension, then you have to have some kind of payoff that's going to show that. So whatever they got planned for her in the future, we'll just have to wait and see. But if it's to be an alicorn, then it's to be an alicorn. If it's to be the next Star Swirl, it's to be the next Star Swirl. We don't know. We just have to wait and see. Now, finally, I want to talk about something else. As you can probably see in the corner here, let me move that a bit. So you can see right there, that is the magical, as the box calls it, that is the my magical, um, that is the, just trying to fix that there. There we go. That is the my magical talking Princess Twilight. The one that they advertised at the New York Toy Fair, the one that Ben and John at Ben's Toy Ben reviewed and talked about, the one that was showcased along with the other figures at HasCon. That's the figure. And I know a lot of people kind of feel indifferent about it. Some people like it, some people find it creepy. Let me put it to you like this. One thing that Ben and John said in their discussion about it, their review about it, is they mentioned that some people pointed out that it looks like Hasbro's take, or the My Little Pony version. But basically what they're saying, basically what they're pointing out is it looks like Hasbro basically made a Twilight Sparkle version of the toy of the Fur Real Friends toy Starlight Twinkle, or the Full Real Friends unicorn toy Starlight Twinkle, and all they did is they redesigned it, they remolded it to rebuilt it or whatever to be a My Little Pony Twilight Sparkle version. And if that's the case, you can't really blame Hasbro for doing that, because Hasbro's notorious for doing that. They've done it with their Transformers. They've done it with their G.I. Joe figures. Toy companies are notorious for doing that. And I said it best. I think this is basically like a hybrid. I feel that it's built and everything was inspired by the For Real Friends initial design of the unicorn toy. But I think what Hasbro did is they took that design, built it, but built it to represent more of Twilight Sparkle. That's what they did. They initially took the For Real Friends design and model of the unicorn toy, Starlight Twinkle, and they kind of rebuilt it and redesigned it to represent Twilight. Now, I know some people feel that that Twilight that makes Twilight look creepy, makes it look old. You can't always ask for perfection, okay? You can't always ask for perfection. And I look at it like this. You know, a lot of toy companies have done this. Take a look at what who is it, Hasbro or whoever brought out the new Teddy Ruxpin toy. I think it might have been Hasbro. Take a look at what they did by remodeling or redesigning that version of 1980 to 19 that late 80s 90s version with this version that they brought out. Which is creepier? Or which is more cute, more realistic, or creepier? Don't you think people felt that that was creepy when it came out in the 80s and 90s? Of course they did. Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, did a parody of Teddy Ruxpin. When he did his review on the series, he parodied that. He parodied how he felt that was more of a demonic-like figure than anything. You know? And now how do you think he's going to feel about this one from a character perspective? I'm just saying. You know, a lot of people felt that that was creepy when it came out, and that's, like I said, why Doug Walker does an in-parody joke about it as a nostalgia critic. And he'll probably do more so with this one. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think people felt the same way about when they did a talking Cadence figure a couple years ago? Sorry for the lag there. But they did a talking Cadence figure a couple years ago. Because, why do you think people felt the same way there? Because of the fact that it didn't look anything like Cadence. Same with Twilight. A lot of people feel that this doesn't look anything like Twilight. And that's initially to be expected. That's initially to be expected. But you know what? You know, you got to give Hasbro credit for doing the best they can. They're not always going to make perfect things. That's an obvious. That's very obvious. Sometimes the figures they will make will be missing a few things here and there. Maybe some of the figures they make will come apart at the seams, and you'll have to super glue them back on, or use peroxide or whatever, super glue or whatever, some kind of cement or whatever, some kind of cement glue to fix it and everything, make it better. You know, not everything's going to be perfect. You know, when movies get released on DVD and Blu-ray, whether they're multiple disc or single disc, you know, when they get shipped out, sometimes the case that contains the movie is not always going to be in the best shape. I'm just saying. You know, even shopping for food. You know, when you go and shop for food and you go get ready to check out, but then you notice, oh, I don't want to get this because it doesn't look good, and you give it back to the cashier. And I've had that happen to me at my job several times, where a customer will give me a bag of fruit or something like that, or a bag of fruit or a bag of bread, and say, hey, this has got mold on it, or this is all rotted. Here, I don't want it. Go tell them. Or go tell your staff or something like that, or your other fellow associates. You know, it shows you not everything's going to be perfect. So as far as Starlight, the talking Twilight goes, you know, yeah, a lot of people are going to be creeped out about it, but there are going to be some that are going to be initially okay with it. So I'm cool with it. I mean, I think that's probably the best you're going to get so far. I don't think we have to be. I don't think we should be judgmental about it. I think we got to look at the fact that, you know, it's going to be the best we're going to get, and if Transformers has proven anything, there's going to be fans out there that are going to try to do their own interpretation of a talking Twilight or Rarity or Starlight or Celestia or whatever down the line, and probably do a better job. So, but the thing is, I wouldn't be too judgmental about that, because if you're going to do a figure where it's going to interact with you. It's going to talk. It's going to sing. It's going to tell you stories. I'll probably spoil the movie in a sense. What have you? You know, talk to you about spells and friendship. That's the best you're going to get. I think that's the best you're going to get, and I think we just gotta just leave it at that. You know, I think we just gotta leave it at that. I mean, really, you know, how else are you going to again? How else are you going to try? I mean, what I'm trying to say is when you have something like the movie coming out, when you're trying to promote not just your series and your franchise, but you're also trying to promote the movie that it's based on, or try to promote the movie that it's based on. Then do you want to take your time? Then and you have plans to release something like this, are you going to take your time and release it post movie, or do you want to release it in time for the movie and for the holidays, for the Christmas season? What would you do if you were Hasbro? Wait? Or would you want to make that money as quickly as you could by releasing it in time to promote a movie and releasing it in time to be sold a later way during the Christmas season? What would you do? I'm just saying, folks, think about it. Think about that. I mean, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Just get my mic readjusted here. But let me show you this. I'm gonna probably do a live review of this or a on camera review later. But take a look. Take a look at the character here. This is Skystar. All right, this is Skystar. Now take a look at her, how her character looks as a toy. All right, take a look at that. How her character looks as a toy, and then take a look how she looks in animated form. Okay, take a look at the difference. Are you going to get an exact replica or an exact duplicate of Skystar? No, you're not. You're not going to get an exact representation of her unless she becomes part of the Guardians of Harmony set, and then you'll probably get one that looks just like her. Okay? That'll be the only time, is if she becomes part of the Guardians of Harmony set. Because when you take a look at Guardians of Harmony, they're more show accurate, or more show accurate than some of the other figures Hasbro puts out. Same with Funko. A lot of their collectible figurines are more show accurate than what Hasbro puts out or any other company puts out. What was it? Fourth Dimension, which I got some of my plushes from, are more show accurate than any other company that brings out Hasbro or any other company that brings out a plush based on MLP. The fact is, just because Twilight looks a little creepy or unusual, or some people would joke around saying she looks like a Granny Smith or grandma character, whatever. You know, just because Hasbro designed it that way, doesn't mean isn't you shouldn't, like I said, you shouldn't be judgmental about it. Because toy figures, unless it's a specific you know line of toys, a specific toy line, or a specific company that's doing the design, you're not always going to get a show accurate character. That is probably the closest you're going to get to a Twilight, right? In that sense. I mean, yeah, you could say it's creepy, you could say it's cute, you could say it's great, whatever. You're entitled to your opinion. But the point is, it's not all toys in a toy line are going to look exactly like the characters they represent, that they represented on the big screen or on television. They're not always going to represent them. So I look at it like with Starlight, you're going to, with Twilight, excuse me for a sec. I mean, with so with Twilight, you're not always going to character like Twilight. You're not always going to get the best representation. Here's another character. This was a re-release of a figure they did a couple years ago of Rainbow Dash, but they redesigned it and rebuilt it or whatever for the movie. Now take a look at that. Take a look. Does that initially look like Rainbow Dash besides in the face? In the face, it looks like her, right? But look at how the hair is designed. Okay? Look at how the hair is designed. Is that initially how Rainbow Dash's hair is? Has the series ever said, oh, that's what her hair really looks like? And that she just has it the way she does? No. Even when she did impersonations of the main six, Rainbow Dash's hair never really changed too much. It never came down like it does here. So even though facial wise, it is definitely looks like Rainbow Dash right off the bat, hair wise, it's not designed that way. So, you're not always going to get show accurate character designs unless it's a specific company, like Fourth Dimension, Funko, or if it's, for a certain toy line like Guardians of Harmony. You're not always going to get an initial initial character accurate design. Like I said, you're not always going to get a show accurate design or show accurate movie accurate character design. Take a look at Rainbow Dash here. This is the first Rainbow Dash Guardians of Harmony figure. The one that came with the pirate ship is basically the same figure, just a little redesigned, molded, with a pirate bandana and outfit than this. But essentially, it's the same design. It's the same figure, but like I said, just a little remolded and redesigned to represent the pirate portion of the movie. But take a look at this. This here is a more show accurate version of Rainbow Dash, right? So you say to yourself, okay, well, why? Now you might ask yourself, okay, why is that show accurate, but then the other ones aren't? Because, like I said, it's all because, and why? It's because it's done for a certain toy line. Guardians of Harmony, um, which is supposed to basically appeal to both boys, girls, and collectors, adult fans, and all that. Um, that's why her design is most show accurate there than anywhere else. That's why it's most show accurate here as far as Hasbro is concerned than anywhere else. And I think we have to look at it that way, that we're not always going to get perfection. I'm pretty sure if the people in charge of the Guardians of Harmony toy line were in charge of doing the talking Twilight Sparkle figure, that yeah, you might get more show accuracy out of it as far as design goes, but you get but I have to say that Hasbro and whoever they put in charge of designing it did the best job they could. So I don't think we should really hate on Hasbro for not really giving us the best figure we could ask for. I think they did a good job, and I think when the holidays come around, whether you got kids or you got people that are, or you got whether you got kids or you got bronies and Pegasisters that you know are part of your family that you know would enjoy something like that, it's gonna make the perfect gift. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna make the perfect gift. So I so in other words, I look at it like this. I look at it like this. You're not always going to get perfection. You think you look at the Transformer figures and you say, well, they almost show accurate in some ways. Yes and no. That's a fact. Yes and no that they are, and yes and no that they're not. But that's you got to you got to remember these toy divisions are all separated by the franchises that they're built for. You got a toy division, a toy building division for Transformers, for GI Joe, for My Little Pony, for the licensed movies and stuff that they have, like Disney and I think Disney and like Disney and Marvel, like Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. They're all separated by different toy designer and building divisions that will focus on these franchises. And sometimes those divisions are all separated into many divisions depending on the line of toys that they have to design, make draw the design for, and then build upon from. So you got to remember that. And the same goes with MLPFIM. You got a Guardians of Harmony division working on this. You got a movie division working on the movie designs. You got you got all sorts of designs. You got all sorts of mini divisions in the initial toy division of My Little Pony. So as far as Twilight, the Talking Magical Twilight, I wouldn't hate on it. I just would say, look, they did the best they could. Yeah, it might be a little creepy to some, but hey, I think it's the best you're going to get. The best we're going to get overall. I think, in a sense, when you look at it, you kind of don't judge it by design. I say it's a good representation of Twilight. I really do. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. I will say that one other thing is I do have the junior novel for the movie, the junior novelization of the movie. I have, like I said, I've skimmed through it, but I have not read it all yet. If I do, you can expect maybe a review. But if I do any of that, expect a review after I see the movie. Yeah, so I will, after I see the movie and I do a review on that, expect maybe a review on that to see what differences, what things they may have changed here and there. Um, but yeah, there are, overall, that's really all I could say. One other thing I will say, I did point this out on Facebook. It's just like previously, and I don't see it in the stores anymore, so I'll probably have to get it through Amazon if I do. But lately, Hasbro and Shout Factory have been releasing these uh, um, compilation DVDs with a lot of episodes relating to what the DVD is about. And it's nothing new for them when it comes to Friendship is Magic. It's nothing new for them to do. But here now they're doing it with slipcovers, and on the slipcovers, it shows certain characters and what the name of the DVD is. Basically, these are characters that initially the episodes are going to focus on, that the episodes contain are going to focus on. Like the last one was Starlight and Twilight, or Twilight and Starlight. Basically, episodes that focused on Twilight and Starlight. Here, this new one that I pointed out is based on has Fluttershy on the cover, and it sounds like it's got episodes featuring Fluttershy. So now we got a Fluttershy one out, and I'm assuming the next one could be any one of the other main six. If I was to guess, I say the next one's going to be Rarity. I really do. I feel the next one's going to be Rarity. But yeah, they're now releasing these compilation DVDs with episodes focused on a specific character or characters. So that's kind of cool. And as far as season 6 goes, yes, I have it on my Netflix queue. And yes, if you're curious, I will be buying the complete season in November. I will be buying it on DVD when it comes out. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I will be getting the complete season on DVD when it comes out on November 7th. So you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. That is going to happen very soon. But really, that's really all I have to say here. I know I've taken about over an hour or so talking about this. Checking something there. Taken over an hour, almost two, talking about this. So thank you all for watching. Because really, that's all I have to. Everything I've talked about here, I just wanted to get off my chest and finally have enough time to do it without having to feel rushed, like I do during my lunch hours or something like that. So, or before I start work, because sometimes my bus will drop me, depending on my schedule. The only bus I can catch will drop me off basically about an hour or maybe half hour or something like that beforehand. So, and sometimes, or even an hour and a half before I have to work. And sometimes I have to, if I do a live stream via my Android, I have to sometimes work around the bad connect the the area that I'm working in, because as you've noticed, sometimes I will walk around and I'll end up in an area where the connection's good, and then I'll end up, as I'm walking, I'll end up in an area where the connection's bad, and then of course you got people walking around, driving around, so you kind of get the idea. It's a little hard to do, but I still do it. But overall, like I said, I just had to get a lot more off my chest and just finally, I guess, compile it all in this live stream. And that, and really, this is all I have to say today. Again, thank you all for watching live. Thank you all to those that watch post live. In other words, after this was done and uploaded. Thank you all for taking your time and watching this via YouTube, through the links that I provided at Twitter, Facebook, and at, I think, certain message boards. Thank you all for watching live, and like I said, post live. I would like to hear from you guys. Give me your initial thoughts on some of the things I talked about. Take your time in watching this if you want to, because it is long. And really, that's all I have to say. So thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys again think down below. Give me your thoughts for those that watched via Twitter, Facebook, the links provided there, and some of the message boards, as well as here on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. I would appreciate it. And that's all I have to say. So until later on, God bless. Take care. I am out.